In last video, we have discussed the data, how the data can be seen and can be interpreted. In this video, we will be focusing on plotting and visualizing the data. When you are working with the high amount of data, it is always better to see the data, how data is distributed and how does it look like before you start processing the data. So this is one of the initial steps in machine learning where the scientists they see and visualize the data to understand its distribution and its overall impression, overall weightage and overall contribution in the complete data set. So we will use some of the ways of seeing the data, plotting and visualizing the data. There are multiple libraries and again there are multiple ways of doing this. In this video we will be seeing two different methods. First we will use the matplotlib, which is another library like NumPy and Pandas, and we can import it with the help of import statement. So we are specifically importing the pyplot, which is a subset of matplotlib, as PLT. So once you run this, you will be able to import the required libraries. Now let us draw the line chart first, how it looks and how it can be drawn. So we are using NumPy's a function called linspace, where you have the values 0, 10 and 100. These three values refer to the start, stop and number. So I want 100 values between 0 and 10. I want to start with 0 and I want to stop at 10 and I need 100 values. You can uncomment printx command to see the values there. The next step in the first cell is to create a plot. So I say that plt.plot. Remember that plt refers to the pyplot from matplotlib, and I'm calling a method plot where I'm passing x and x. I need to pass two variables because the plot will be drawn in two dimension where you need x and y. So I'm passing both the values as x here. I'm saying that the plot which I want to draw is a linear. I want to use blue color to draw the line. Then I am calling the legend function, and then I'm setting the x label to x-axis and y label to y-axis. I'm also setting the title of the plot as first plot, and then finally I am showing the plot. So once I run this, I can see the first plot here, and whatever the values you have set are visible there, and it shows you a range from 0 to 10 and all are x values. So this draws a line. Let us move to the next cell. Here I am planning to plot graph with two lines. So I am using style.use ggplot and I want to have some output like this. So again I am taking some random data x1 y1 and x2 y2. These are the random values which I have taken. The first line which I am drawing is being drawn using green color and I'm calling it first line. I'm setting its line width to 5 and you can change it if you want. Similarly, the second line is drawn with blue color. The title is set to new graph and plot y label and x label are set to x-axis and y-axis. I'm setting the grid color to K, which is black, and true to show the grid. And finally I am showing the plot. So this is the output of the graph. Again you can change the values, you can change the labels and you can see the effect. Next is to draw a bar graph. So I am using the similar method, but I have created two subplots. I'm adding the subplots to a figure. So first I'm creating a figure. I'm calling this figure as FIG and I'm creating the figure with help of plt.figure, and figure size has been set to 20 by 10. Then I'm creating two sub figures inside that. First is called AX1 and the second is called AX2. The AX1 is basically a subplot inside the figure and I'm setting its value to 1 to 1, where 1 to 1 refers to 1 by 2 grid, and this is my first plot. Second variable, which is AX2, again I am adding a subplot and I am saying 1 to 2. First two digits refer to 1 by 2 grid and last digit refer to the second plot. Again I am taking some random values. My color used here is blue. You can change the color, and finally I am showing the plot. So once you draw this, you can see two different bar graphs, and as you can see from the syntax, the first is a bar which shows you the vertical bars and the second one is bar H which shows you the horizontal bars. Again, you can set the labels for x-axis, y-axis, title, and other values. Now if I want to have multiple bars instead of a single bar, then I can use the plt.bar for the first bar and plt.bar for the second bar. Let us draw so you can see it properly. So now you have two different values, red and blue. The red is for the car 1 data and blue is for the car 2 data, and these are the sample data. Now there is another graph which is very useful and is known as histogram. So it shows you the distribution of data. Again, I have taken the random data, population, age, and then I am taking some bins, and finally I am using the function plt.hist where I am passing all the details. And if I run this, I will be able to see a histogram, and this histogram shows the distribution of data. Okay, now there will be some cases where you would like to see the plots in the form of area. So again, I have taken some dummy data here and I'm drawing the plot. I'm creating the plot area for different values, and these plots are mainly known as stack plot. So finally, I am creating the stack plot with the different values, and I'm setting the parameters to see the output. So once you run this, you can see the output. Y refers to yellow, R refers to red, B refers to blue, and K refers to black. And these are the values: sleeping, eating, working, and playing, which have been set. So this way you can draw the stack plots. The next type of chart is pie chart. Again, there are similar type of values, and I'm trying to create a pie chart with the plot.pie method. So it will create the pie chart and it can be seen here. Now if you want to create a time series or series of the data, you can use this method. Basically it's a simple plot, but it has the numpy way of calculating the different values. I am using a function t and I am passing t1 and t2 there. So first plot which I am drawing has the value t1 and then ft1. T1 is my x and ft1 is my y. In ft1 I am calling the function np.x minus t into np.cos. So this formula can give you this type of graph. So in my first plot I have t1 ft1 and then t2 ft2, and in the next plot which you can see here, it's a subplot, I am passing only t2 and then I'm calling np.cos function. Again, you can see the different effects by changing the different values here. Now pandas, which we have seen in the last example, also has a feature of creating different plots. So instead of going for the matplotlib functions, you can directly use pandas function where you can draw the plots directly. So ts is a pd.series. In last example we discussed pd.dataframe. Whatever the data set which we created was a data frame, and this is a series. I'm setting the values, random values in the series starting from 1st January 2017, and I'm setting the periods to 1000, and then I'm calculating the cumulative sum and storing that into TS, and then finally I am using the ts.plot command. So once I run this, I can see a series here starting from January 2017 with some random spikes and random data. So like previous example, you can draw multiple series in a single plot. So I have taken data frame here instead of a series, and I am creating another random data set with the 4 columns and 1000 rows, and I'm naming them A, B, C, D, and you can see 4 different series with 4 different colors, namely A, B, C, and D. Now in this cell we will see the bar graph. Earlier we did it with the matplotlib. Here we will be doing it with the data frame. So I'm calling it df and df.ilog5. You must remember that in the last example we saw the ilog usage. I am drawing a bar graph and I want to keep the colors to blue. If I change the color, the effect will be changed. Now if I want to have multiple bars, multiple values for different bars, I can again use the df2 as pd.dataframe, which I am creating a new data frame with 10 random values and for 4 different columns A, B, C, D, and then I'm drawing the plot.bar, and which will create the bar graph for the 4 different lists. Now if you want to add another feature to this bar graph, you can have a staked bar graph. It can be seen like that. Instead of 4 different towers, you can have a single tower with 4 segments inside that. In the next cell, we are creating another bar graph, but in this we will be having the horizontal bar graph instead of vertical bar graph. This is a staked bar graph again. As we have seen earlier with the matplotlib, you can also use pandas for creating a histogram. So this is another histogram where you can see the distribution of data. You can also create the area like we did in the matplotlib. Now the interesting part is the scattered graph. So scattered graph is something which is used very frequently and commonly in the machine learning. We are creating a new data frame df with 50 random numbers for 4 columns a, b, c, d, plotting the scattered graph for a and b. So this is a scatter graph where the values are shown as a dots. There isn't a figure there, and each value represents a single point related to the past values. And if you want to group this into 2 different groups, then you can use group 1 and group 2 kind of mechanism as we have done. And I have taken A, B, C, D, and then I'm printing them. So now you have 2 groups. First group items are shown in blue dots, and the group 2 items are shown in the red color. The colors can be set from here, and the values can be set from here. And the last type is having the scattered plot with the grayscale data. So based on the value, the grayscale bar can be seen, and the values of different weightage can be seen in the different color shades of grayscale on the plot. So this plotting and visualizing can help you in understanding your data before you process it through the machine learning.